So, what's the best settings for your DSLR camera when it comes to shooting video? In this video I'm going to show you exactly what settings I use and what settings I'm using right now, so stick around and I'll see you on the other side. Hi guys and welcome back. So I'm going to run you through the basic setup I use for making my videos, from the lighting setup right through to the camera settings I use. So to start with, I'd just like to point out that I do work in an environment with no natural light, so most of my lighting comes from a ring light, a couple of spotlights and a colour changing LED strip that is mounted to the low ceiling of my studio. So that's the lighting. We'll now move on to the camera setup. So we'll start with the frame rate. Now most videos these days will be filmed at 25 or 30 frames per second, dependent on the region. But first, the main setting relative to the FPS is the shutter speed. So the general rule of thumb with shutter speed with video is that you would normally set it double the frame rate. So for example, if you was working at 30 frames per second, you'd set your shutter speed to 60 as it is shown on here. Equally, if you was recording at 25 frames per second, then you'd simply set the shutter speed to 50 instead. So next we'll look at the aperture setting, which is shown here. In general, you want to try and set this as low as possible based on your lens. If you're using the standard kit lens of the 1855 lens like me, then you'll want to try and set this down as low as you can to 4.5 based on the lens being set at 18. But the one thing to bear in mind is that with this setting it will automatically adjust if you change the lens setting higher or lower. So just to give you an example, if I was to move this and change it, as you can see the aperture setting does change with it, but for the best lighting, especially based in something dark, you want to try and set it as low as possible, in this case down to 4.5 based on this lens. So the last of the three most important settings is the ISO settings, which is shown here. Now I usually set this to auto, and I found for my lighting setup it tends to work pretty well. You can set it manually, but I've found the higher you go with this setting, the lower the quality of the video seems to be. So if you do decide to set this manually, try not go over the 800 mark, as you really will notice a sort of degradation in picture quality. One way to counteract this, if you do need to go up to that kind of figure, is to add in some additional lighting, something like a ring light. So that will provide a little bit more light and allow you to bring the ISO figure down and maintain a much better video quality. So there you go guys, so that's my setup based on my lighting and lens configuration. Hopefully it'll give you at least a bit of an idea and a starting point on where to go with your DSLR and the kind of settings that you need to adjust to try and achieve the kind of video quality that you're looking for. Additionally, if you are using a different lens to the 1855 standard kit lens, then yes, you will need to adjust the settings accordingly, but as long as you follow the sort of main three principles that we've gone over in this video, then you ain't gonna really go too far wrong. Lastly, I'd just like to say, if you have enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, then please do hit that like and subscribe button and look out for the next video. Thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.